What's happening, Wisdom Warriors of Light? Back at it for another video. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Sunday sermon. Hope you're well. Hope you're fine. Hope you're doing great. Um, Today is just a beautiful message is going to come through that I've been I actually had two messages I wanted. Originally I had one that I wanted to talk about, and then well, actually, they're kind of one and the same, to be honest with you, the more I think about it. And I just, yeah, I had a couple of things that I wanted to address and talk about and just get into. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. We are growing this channel slowly but surely. It is growing, and I'm thankful and grateful for each and every one of you who have subscribed, who have commented, who have shared, who have liked. It's a beautiful thing when we all share this video once, or one of the videos once. Man, we change the world. And with your help, we can do that, and we can grow this beautiful, safe community for us all to just come together as one and share our stories and help each other grow, evolve, and just change for the better. Just know that as you're changing the world. You're making this place a better place for the kids and their kids and their kids. So just know that when you heal through your pain, trauma, hurt, you're essentially changing the world. You're changing this place for us all, and for the children and children's children and children's children. So just know that, man. Just know that it's way bigger than just you. When you stand in the fire and you actually go through these difficult experiences for yourself, you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the world. You're doing it for the children that are coming. You're doing it for the children that are already here, and the children's children and children's children, like I said. So you're making a huge impact by just taking the time out and going within and going in those dark areas of your soul and just healing these patterns and trauma and hurt that you've experienced throughout your life and past lives, and generational curses and ancestral and whatever the case may be, whatever you want to call it. You're doing justice for us all. So just know that it's bigger than you. It's way, way bigger than just you. Just remember that. And just by you listening and liking and sharing and commenting, it's an energy transfer, and you're making a big impact for us all. So just know that. I love you for doing that, and I'm sending you all my love to each and every one of you who are putting in that work, and just healing yourself and healing the world. I love you for that. Thank you. And thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you for everyone who has been a part of this journey with me thus far. And I look forward to us moving forward in a beautiful way. It's 3:33 on the clock. So I pulled 3 cards for the collective, and this is what came up. So whatever feels good for you, let it sit and resonate with you. These are oracle cards from Kyle Gray's The Angel Guide Oracle deck. So just, get it if you want. Don't get it if you don't want. It's up to you, but I love it. I'm not sponsoring Kyle Gray. One day maybe we will on this channel if he wants it. But as of right now, that's not the case. I'm just telling you about a great, wonderful deck that someone told me about, and I'm passing it on to you guys. So the card No came out. So I don't know if you've been asking questions to your angels or guides or archangels or your loved ones or masters or teachers, but the answer is no to whatever you've been asking. And you know who you are. So yeah. The second card that came about was the Holy Love card. Again, another card that you will know if it resonates with you or not. And the third card that I pulled was Friendship and Union. Another beautiful card. Again, you will know if it means something to you or not. Look inside you, and how does it feel to you when you hear me say, I pulled the card popped out no, the card popped out holy love, and the card popped out friendship and union. You know what that feels for you. So yeah, another beautiful pull for the collective, and I'm sure there's a message for someone in there, because it didn't come out for no reason. So I want to get into this video for today's sermon, and just talk a little bit about kind of some of the things that I've experienced in my journey. And I want to also, before I get into that a little bit, I want to kind of explain what going within means, because I remember, like, I would venture to say probably like 10, 15 years ago, I don't exactly know when Eckhart Tolle's New Earth book came out, but I remember him being on Oprah Winfrey's show, and that book came out. It had to be like in the early 2000s probably. And at that time I was guided to that book, but I didn't really understand at all what it meant, what it was about. I didn't understand any of it at all. And the book sat next to my bed collecting dust for I don't know how long, until actually the last few years when I found it. I was guided again to it, and I read the book. I think I repurchased it, possibly. Either that or I found it. I either found it or I repurchased it. I'm not really quite sure, but at the time, people were talking about, back then, going within. And they even spoke about meditation, and I never really could understand, or really, I didn't know what it meant. I had no clue what meditation was. When people talked about it, I didn't understand it. Nor did I understand what going within was. And when I heard the words, but I didn't understand what the hell it meant. And I didn't know how to do it. And I remember purchasing Russell Simmons' book on meditation, because that guy was a massive meditator, and that's what granted, he was a record producer and everything else, but for the most part, he put out a lot of information about meditation. And that was way back, and he would show things about him drinking green juices and eating raw vegan and all kinds of stuff like that. But I ended up finding his book too, which talked about meditation. And even at that time, I didn't understand what it was. I really, really didn't. And so it wasn't until about, really, I would venture to say like 6 years ago in 2017 when I hit rock bottom, but I still kind of didn't really know what meditation fully was. And I was just starting back then, about 6, 7 years ago in 2017, 2018, to start, like, actually, the video that I just posted the other day about my twin flame soulmate journey in 2017, that was the time that I met this individual that was kind of psychic slash medium slash, in that arena, where I remember her telling me that I was floating outside my body all the time. That's what I was always doing. And she was teaching me, actually, at that time, which I don't remember her practice of how she was teaching it, about going, like, grounding in the body, like, instead of like floating up here like a lot of us do, and majority of humanity. She was teaching me ways of like grounding in the body, like going in. She goes, you need to be in your body. We didn't come here to escape the body. We didn't come here to float above the body. We came here to be in our bodies. And a lot of us, we don't even know that we're doing that. And we don't even know we're not in our bodies. And so that was kind of like the start, where I had to end the relationship because I hit rock bottom. And I had mentioned to her, I remember that I had to go on a soul searching path. I was soul searching. And that's all kind of where it really started. I mean, way before that, I was already doing like a lot of holistic things. You know, I was kind of in that realm, sort of in and out, but not really fully understanding it or fully embodying it. But, and, you know, I mean, as I've spoken about before on this channel, that I woke up at probably the age of 12 years old, maybe around there, 11, 12, maybe younger. And I was already starting to question everything around me. And so, but the journey of me finding out that I was really not in my body was really kind of essentially like in 2017, 2018, when I spoke to this woman and she was able to tell that my spirit was floating above my body all the time, that I was rarely ever in the body. And you know, I want to mention this before I get into it a little bit. The way, there's several ways of you grounding in your body. One is nature. One is putting your feet in dirt or sand, like on the beach. But nature is a big one. But the breath is the most powerful way to embody yourself, deeply embody yourself. And that's kind of when 2018, I was really, I mean, mind you, before that I always had massive anxiety and depression and things like that, and that had a lot to do with floating outside the body. Because if you're not grounded in your body, you're going to have anxiety, you're going to have depression, you're not going to be grounded and centered. You're just not. You're going to be all over the place and you're going to be in your head all the time. And that's one thing that I remember every relationship that I was in with females. They were able to tell, they're like, how come you're always in your head? They were always able to tell that. And I heard it over and over and over again. You're always in your head. And I was. Since a little kid, I was never grounded. I was never grounded in the body. You know why? Because I was a, what's the word? Shallow breather. I was breathing backwards. I was breathing the wrong way. And I was a mouth breather. And that's not meant to be all the time. You're not meant to breathe through the mouth all the time, like 24/7. So not only was I doing it during the day all day, but then when I slept, I was snoring and breathing through the mouth while I slept. And so that caused immense anxiety, immense depression, constantly in my head, constantly floating above the body, constantly in fear, constantly had low self-esteem, constantly being made fun of, constantly being told by my parents, close your mouth, you keep breathing through your mouth. My parents would always tell me that. And it was such a habitual habit that I was doing. And 2017, when I really hit rock bottom, because the other rock bottoms, like the drugs and the alcohol and the objectifying women and chasing women for instant gratification, sexual acts, you know, things like that, that wasn't, that didn't cause me a rock bottom that I knew of until I hit a severe health rock bottom in 2017. Mind you, prior to that, yes, I had massive anxiety all the time. I didn't know why I was having it. I would just be driving to the mall and getting anxiety for no reason. Didn't know why. No one could really answer it. I'd be just at home getting immense anxiety, not really knowing why. I was going to acupuncture to try to get grounded that way. I was doing things, but nobody was really steering me in the right direction. They were all telling me it's all in my head. And I just want to tell you this, that this is not easy to do. I'm being very extremely vulnerable and opening myself up and speaking about all this. And it's not easy to do. I went through a lot growing up, through my childhood and adulthood, and I will speak a lot more on this channel about that as time goes on. But I just got called today to help and share and give some tips how you can help yourself. But I just want you to know that it's not a quick, fast journey. It takes time. You have to keep doing it over and over again. You have to keep reminding yourself, hey, wait a minute. Where's my breath? Where's my breath? You know, that to me is one of the biggest ways you can ground in your body, and you can have peace and sovereignty through the breath. Nature too, and if you could do nature and the breath, even better. You know, and I've given some tips on this channel about different breathing techniques that you can do. You know, and I'll remind you of one that you can do in here. But the biggest one I can tell you right now is just follow your breath. Pay attention to your breath going in and out. The more you can do that, the more conscious you're going to be of it, of the breath. And you're not going to just be like holding your breath for no reason without even realizing you're doing it. So the more you could kind of pay attention to your breath rising and falling, the better off you're going to be, the more you can do that. So if you go for a walk in nature, pay attention to your breath. Make sure you're like paying attention to you breathing. Like say to yourself, where's my breath? Where's my breath? And then just focus on it, your breath going in and out, your chest going up and down. You know, and if you have to, hold your hand on your chest like this. You know, and just so there's a bit of a weight on it, and you can remember that. Do it with me for a minute or a second. Put your hand on your chest and just pay attention to the breath going in and out. Focus on it. You know, you could still be paying attention to noises and sounds around you, like the birds, and if somebody's in your house with you, you know, and they're opening the fridge or the AC turns on or the heat turns on, you can still pay attention to those sounds. But while you're paying attention to those sounds, pay attention to your breath going in and out, in and out. And another wonderful thing to do, which feels really, really good, is take like a deep breath in. Breathing through your nose, of course, and then out through your mouth. And I'll tell you what, you could feel your nervous system going into that parasympathetic state just by doing that alone. Just by focusing on the breath and breathing in deep and breathing out. Breathing in deep through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. You can also put your hand on your stomach. You know, that's a good place to put it. But the more you can do that, and the more you can pay attention, if you're a mouth breather or if you're a shallow breather, do it consistently as much as you can. If you have to, put reminders on your phone that remind you and alert you like maybe 3-4 times a day, like once in the morning, breathe. Put the words breathe and put it to notify you. Lunchtime, put a notification on your phone to breathe, and let it pop up on your phone and make an alert, like as if you're getting a text. Make one at dinner to remind you to breathe. And then you could say deep breath. And then there's apps out there too, free apps. I'll have to maybe mention one in the description of one I found that I really, really like, that you can do intermittent breathing, and just breathing in general, where at times you breathing in for 6, breathing out for 6, you know, and you just, and it vibrates every time you do it. So it'll say breathe in, and then you breathe in, and it'll count to 6, and then it'll vibrate, and then you breathe out, and it'll count to 6, and then it'll vibrate once it hits 6. And that the more you do these things, the more you're going to be more conscious of your breathing. But you can't just not do anything and expect that you're going to be able to do it. And that when you've been trained for 20 years, 15 years, 30 years, 40 years to breathe through the mouth and to shallow breathe, or even that you're just holding your breath in stressful situations, the more you do that, the more it's a habit. And you're just going to continue to do it. It takes a lot of practice. And it takes discipline. And it takes paying attention and being mindful and conscious of what you're doing. Because that's life though, man. I didn't get to the place that I am right now with not putting in the work. I mean, literally, when I hit rock bottom in 2017 and 2020, I had to put in the work. And, you know, I know it can be easy to just sit on the couch and eat, you know, junk food and chips and candy and whatever, and not go out and walk or sit in front of the computer and game, or whatever the addiction you may have or the thing you may be doing. I know that it's easy to do that, and it's not easy to do the other things that actually give you like such a beautiful life on the other side. I wouldn't be where I am today, and I still have a ways to go. I promise you, when I tell you I have a ways to go, I have things I'm working on still at this moment, but I can tell you I've been doing things that I never would have ever imagined I would be doing, like recording these videos on YouTube for you guys, teaching, you know, being a part of these Zoom meetings and calls with others, and doing individual Zooms with people I'm meeting all around the world. I would have never imagined doing that. Not only that, I'm meeting people in real life, in public. Like, I'm being guided to different practices that I'm doing, or things that I've been doing that lead me to new people that I'm meeting that are like-minded like myself, and probably like you. And I truly owe that to the breath, because I've been consciously breathing for well over 2 years. I would probably say well over 6 years. But it's been progression of different types of breathing over the last 7 years. It's been different types. It's been yoga type breathing. It's been pranayama. It's been conscious circular breathing. It's been breath holds. It's been all kinds of different types of breathing. But there's been one that I have really stuck to. Well, two that I've really stuck to: Kundalini breath work and conscious circular breathing, which I will go into more in detail in other videos. This video, I just wanted to kind of give you some pointers and also talk about my journey. But I kid you not, like, I was a nerd, I was a geek, I was isolated, I had no friends, I was bullied, I would speed up, I was tortured and tormented. I had maybe 1 to 2 relationships that lasted 4 to 6 months my entire life. I never really had too many friends. The only ways that I did that and had that was doing things that were hurting myself. To be in those cliques and those groups, like doing drugs and alcohol and junk food and, you know, things that hurt me in the long run, I was doing to just be accepted in these groups, which was not serving me whatsoever, which gave me no growth or expansion. It was just time wasters, but yet it's no accident. Everything was meant to be. And I would not be where I am here today, speaking to you all the way I'm speaking to you confidently, if it wasn't for the breath. And many other things that I have done, but that by far has been a life changer for me. And, again, a lot of other things too. I've had to break massive addictions. I've had every addiction that you could probably think of. Okay? And I've pretty much been stripped of everything at this point in my life. And there's not too many things that I'm addicted to anymore, if at all. But it took a lot of discipline and mental strength and courage to break free of those things, because it's not the easiest thing to do when your family, when your friends, when people around, everywhere you go, they're engaging in these things. I mean, I don't drink. I haven't drank alcohol in a few years. It's probably been since 2018. And every dating app you see, every female posting, every person out there drinks. It's very seldom that you find someone that doesn't. And so it's like, what do you really do? I used to go to bars. I used to go to strip clubs. I used to do all of that stuff. I used to party hard, raves, you name it. I can go on and on. I've gone through it all, man. Trust and believe. And I'm here to serve and teach and help you all in the best way I can. And to show you that you can get to the other side. I never thought it was possible. And you know what the funny thing is, man, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, I remember listening to different gurus that I listened to saying, God, man, I never could have imagined myself getting to this place. Like, and I'm getting chills as I say this because every one of them has said this. Everybody out there, Eckhart Tolle, Jay Shetty, Gabby Bernstein, I can go on and on. They all say the same thing. They could never have imagined from where they were and where they've gotten to. And I feel the same way. I feel the exact same way. I was like, how the fuck am I going to get out of this? Like, I didn't know where to begin, where to start. 7, 10 years ago, we didn't have the people that are now speaking out, talking, putting out videos all over the place about awakenings, about their struggles. Everybody just posted or talked about their beautiful life. They didn't talk about how they got there. They didn't talk about what their struggles were. They just showed themselves in pictures of materialistic success. That was their way of like, I got to this place, but how'd you get there? What'd you do? You know, like you're just sitting in your house. Like when I was living in South Florida, every time you turn around, when I was doing pet sitting jobs, going to people's houses when they were away or when they were even there, how are you doing this? But they could keep it secret. It was all a secret. It was never revealed of how you got to where you got. You know, and I'd be walking around, I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, all I keep getting told is it's all in my head. You know what I mean? That was the common theme that everybody would tell you. Doctors, people all around you, they would keep everything a secret. And I would walk around and I would see all these people in these multi-million dollar homes and just doing nothing on the golf course or whatever. And like, how are you so grounded in that peace and like living that lifestyle? Not that I don't really care about that kind of lifestyle anymore because I've had both ends of the spectrum, and to me, a simple life, as long as I'm fulfilled internally, that's what's important to me. Not how many things I have on the external. That stuff doesn't mean anything to me anymore. It's how fulfilled do I feel inside. You know, and so yeah, I mean, a lot of what I went through the last 7 to 10 years, I found things on YouTube at the time, like 7, 10 years ago, that got me doing breathing techniques. But it's been a long journey. Long journey, to say the least. But you can start now. You can start any time in your life, it doesn't matter. I'm 40, I just turned 45. Do I have it all together? No. Am I working on that every day? Yeah. Is it going to be perfect? Hell no. Are you going to have good days and bad days? Hell yeah. You know, it's you're not going to have every day is going to be sunshines and rainbows. It doesn't work that way. But you can find peace within everything that you're experiencing. And that starts with the breath. And the more you start working with your breath and working on the breath, and the more and more you will be grounded, you will be at peace. Nothing can rock your world. I tell you right now, man, I haven't talked about this a lot, but I had massive anger issues all throughout my life because I was suppressing everything and I was having resentment towards everybody because I was a people pleaser. And I was pleasing everyone but myself. And I was chasing that high of like, oh yeah, if I do this for you, like that feels so good to me, but it's like, it's so temporary. And then I go home and I'm depressed and I'm angry that I even did it, but I don't even know that I am. I don't even know why I'm angry and upset. and then I don't even want to see that person again. Right? And that's what people pleasing does. And it's a very destructive way to be and a way to live. It's not only destructive to the people you're people pleasing to, but to yourself. And then eventually you just hit rock bottom because your health takes a toll. You get burnout. You get all kinds of other things like I've experienced. When I tell you I've been through it all, and I'm not bragging in any way, because I'm telling you right now, I don't think you would have wanted to walk my journey and walk in my shoes. It has not been easy, to say the least. And not many can do it. Not many could do it. It has taken massive discipline. I've had to distance myself from things, people, places, and where I've struggled with having to do that. And then people around you that you have spent your life with think that you don't like them and you hate them, when in actuality you're doing justice for them and yourself. So it's just like, the biggest takeaway I hope that you get from this is the breath. The breath will save you in every aspect. It will get you into deep in your body, and that will bring you inside of yourself. That will help you to heal and explore within. So I don't want to give you too many things to do in one video and too much to absorb. I just want you to if you don't get anything else out of this video, man, just do what I said and pay attention to the breath. I promise you, you will see your life transform and change for the better. It may take time. It will take time, because I'm still in the healing process, and in that process of, work on myself. That never ends. But I promise you this, man. I promise you, if you haven't already, please subscribe, share, comment, and like. You will get so much out of these videos I post. I've been through a lot, and I have a lot to share and a lot to help each and every one of you on this journey with me, because as we heal ourselves, we're healing the planet, we're healing Earth, we're healing each and every one of us on this earth, and we're bringing us into this new earth. The more and more we put in the work. You can't just come here and just expect that it's just going to happen for you and it's going to be like an easy thing, an easy peasy, and I'm done. It doesn't work that way. It never has, it never will. At least not right now. Maybe in the future. Maybe as we expand our consciousness more and more, it will get easier and we won't have to deal with that, because we'll have transmuted our trauma. And that will be, but right now, and what it's been, we have to put the work in. We have to walk away from these addictions. If you're addicted to drinking alcohol, cold turkey that crap. Cold turkey it. There's no other way. I've done every single thing you could possibly think of. I've smoked cigarettes. I've done drugs. I've done pot all day long, all day strong. I've been down that pornography road. I've been down them all, every single thing. Sugar addictions. I tried and tried over and over. I've tried every type of process you can do. I've tried, moderation. I've tried. It doesn't work. Like, I don't know, maybe you could do it, but I've done it with smoking. I've done it with everything. I had to cold turkey. I had to just cut it completely out. And just had discipline. And it took me falling down and getting back up, and falling down and getting back up, and falling down and getting back up in every area, in every addiction, because that's what essentially happened. I did moderation in smoking. It didn't work. I then went back to smoking again. And then I had to stop again, and then I tried again, and then I eventually had to just stop it altogether, and then I went back to it again, and then it's been a long, arduous process and long, arduous journey in every step of the way, every aspect. But I know that my angels and guides have been steering me every step of the way, have been guiding me, protecting me, and with me on this journey. As difficult as it has been, but I wouldn't be where I am right now with the confidence and self-esteem that I have, which I'm still working on. There's still things I have to work on with my confidence and my self-esteem and just everything about this process. Setting boundaries has been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Even the addictions, I don't feel like has been as hard as setting boundaries, me being an empath, and setting boundaries with family members who you never had boundaries with, or friends who you never had boundaries with. And then when you start to set those boundaries in, boy, oh Lord, watch out, hurricane individual coming for you. You know, there's a tornado coming. Watch out. So yeah, it gets better, but it's no easy task by any means. None of it is. All of it takes courage and strength and discipline. Every single one of these things. There's not one thing, but you end up so much more empowered, and you know who you are, and you learn your value, and you won't take bullshit from no one. They won't walk over you like a doormat anymore. You know, and that's what I was. I was a doormat in every aspect, every possible way you could think of. And people were just walking all over me, but you won't catch that happening anymore. I know who I am. I know my value. I know my worth. And I'm not afraid to speak it. You know, so again, if you get anything out of this video, man, start from the breath. Like I said in many other videos, just sit there for, even if it's 5 seconds, pay attention to your breath. Even if you are on break and you got 2 minutes of break at work, pay attention to your breath. I'm getting chills as I tell you this because it is so powerful and it will change your life. So do it. Make that conscious choice today and do it. Okay? Put your hand on your chest and just close your mouth and just breathe and pay attention to your breath just rising and falling. The more and more you do that, the more and more you take deep breaths in, and man, does it feel good when you do that. It feels so calming and peaceful and serene and sovereign, and it's like the most calming, peaceful thing to do is take a deep breath in. Just do those 2 things, man. I promise you it will change your life. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you learned something, man. You know, that I didn't just spend 37 minutes for you just to be diddling on something else. I hope you got something out of this. I love you all so much from the bottom of my heart. Take care of yourselves and each other. And just close your mouth, follow your breath. Breathe in and out. Breathe in your nose, breathe out your mouth. Or just breathe in your nose and breathe out your nose. It's the best thing you can do for yourself, man. That's self-love, y'all. That is self-love. I love you all so much from my heart to yours. I hope you enjoyed this Sunday sermon, but not only enjoyed it, you got something out of it. Because that is not the purpose of this channel. Not for enjoyment, but to get something out of it. To learn something, to grow and evolve. I love you all. I will see you soon. Take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time. Until the next one. I will see you in the next one. Let's go, Wisdom Warriors Light. We got this.